Good morning and welcome to the news at 7. I am David Wakwasile. Our headlines this morning: State Police Command reassures on security of life and property. FRSC intensifies Ember Month awareness campaign in the state. More Nigerian immigrants repatriated from Libya. And on the foreign scene, German Chancellor Merkel calls for establishment of European Army. The Anambra State Police Command has paraded some suspects for various crimes, including cultism, child stealing, armed robbery, kidnapping, and murder. The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Garba Omar, paraded the suspects and displayed exhibits recovered from them at the police headquarters, Anambra. Correspondent Chibuzo Dike attended the briefing and now reports.
Items recovered from the suspects include 24 locally made guns, 42 cartridges, 4 live ammunition, cutlasses, axes, and swords, while 18 suspected illegal collectors were arrested and paraded alongside those suspected to be cultists, child traffickers, armed robbers, one-chance syndicates, kidnappers, among others. Addressing journalists, Mr. Omar said that the command has recorded tremendous successes in reducing crimes to the barest minimum and revealed that since October this year, the command equally launched aggressive manhunts on court activities in the state and has arrested over 100 court members who have confessed to the crime. The Anambra State Police Command pointed out that following intelligence reports, the command arrested one Salafa Falaye, a male aged 25 years with 2 fabricated pistols and 2 live cartridges, suspected to be among the robbery syndicates terrorizing Onitsha and environs. He said that one Chukwuemeka Umeji was arrested for allegedly stabbing his elder brother, one Chigozie Ahaji, aged 26 years, at Nenko filling station, Okpono Newi. Others arrested by the command were Ikechukwu, 21 years, from Aguleri. His suspected accomplice, John Osita, aged 21 years. Both were said to have allegedly broke into the residence of one Professor Eric Ofedu. On the issue of illegal collection of tolls and levies in the markets, containers, and other forms of extortions in the state, Mr. Omar warned all involved to have a rethink and desist forthwith or face the full wrath of the law.
The command has reviewed its crime prevention strategies in order to stem the tide of various security challenges such as menace of cultism, child stealing, armed robbery, especially one chance, kidnappings, and murder, among others.
One of the victims of illegal tolls collection, who is also a police project developer, Chief Jude Duroma, narrated his ugly experience with the suspects, while Mr. Sunday Anekwe, a suspected illegal toll collector, alleged that he was given the ticket by government officials.
I was surprised on Saturday. This guy comes from criminals. Got to the site, I went around. He beat my voice, he beat my leg, started pushing my boss, collect their monies, take their phone with his boys. There are 20 boys of them.
This CEO said that we should go and meet this CEO. This CEO too, I now tell him to give me police to go and work there. He said no, we should go and work. When getting there, if we have any problem, we should come back to them and report. Then they have the letter, they tell me that DPO will come and arrest 3 of them on Sunday or yesterday.
From the police headquarters, Anambra, Chibuzo Dike, ABS News.
The Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Barrister Rita Madagu, says the state legislature is committed to enacting quality laws that will fast-track the overall development of the state. She gave the assurance while presiding over plenary in Awka. While welcoming members of the House back from recess, the Speaker commended the lawmakers who used the recess to embark on constituency projects in their various constituencies as testimonies abound from their various constituents. She applauded the zeal with which various communities of the House carried out their oversight responsibilities at the ministries, parastatals, and agencies to enhance good governance. The state #1 lawmaker who expressed the resolve of the House to continue to work harmoniously with the executive arm of government for the collective good of the citizens announced that the House, under her leadership, which has been adjudged the most peaceful among the Committee of Legislatures, will continue to work in unity. The state sector of the Federal Road Safety Corps has flagged off the 2018 Anambra State Ember Month Awareness Campaign. The Enlightenment Campaign, which took place at the Tracker Central Park, Unizik Junction, Awka, had its theme as Safe Driving, Save Lives. Chidema Ikanyon was there and now brings the reports.
The awareness campaign, which is aimed at reducing road traffic crashes by 15% and fatality by 30%, was well attended by different security operatives in and outside the state, members of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, team from the Nigerian Optometrics Association, representatives of Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, FEMA, Red Cross Society, and some motorists. Flagging of the campaign, the head of service, Anambra State, Barrister Harry Odo, said that the program is a very important component of the security architecture of the state, particularly at this period of the year, stating that the state government has approved the installation of more traffic lights to aid movements.
The governor realized that the ones we have deployed in the state presently may not be adequate for the pressure on the roads. So he has directed the appropriate ministry to liaise with the sector commander, because they are on the field, they know where these things are needed to choose the correct locations for the extra ones.
Also speaking, the Commissioner for Road Infrastructure, Engineer Marcel Ifejiofo, revealed that palliative work has begun on some parts of the roads in the state to enhance movement. In their separate speeches, the Zonal Commanding Officer, FRSC Benin Zone, Assistant Corps Marshal Kehinde Adeleye, and the FRSC State Sector Commander, Mr. Sunday Ajayi, noted that the last quarter of every year is usually recorded with high human and vehicular movement, which sometimes result to road crashes, hence the need to drive safe and save lives, urging road users to obey traffic rules and regulations this ember months and beyond.
Specific offences such as light violation, drunk driving, dangerous driving, use of phone while driving, and route violation. The purpose of all this is to ensure sanity on the highways.
Create public awareness on dangerous implications of traffic infractions, such as overloading, speed limit violation, dangerous overtaking, lane indiscipline, use of phone driving, etc., etc.
There was also lecture by Dr. Chidiebere Anowai, a representative of the Nigerian Optometric Association and Free Medical Eye Care Service. Reckless attitude of some drivers was portrayed in a drama by members of the NYSC as a flag off of the campaign. Road and vehicular inspection by the head of service and other security agencies features as a highlight awareness campaign. In Oka, Chidema Ikanyo reporting for ABS News.
In response to the clarion call by Governor Willie Obiano to spirited individuals, groups, and organizations to identify with flood-affected persons at various holding centers across the state, the members of Salvation Army have given succor to some flood-affected persons in Obaru local government area. The team visited Akilozuzu and St. James Anglican Church, Iyowo-Depe, holding centers with food items worth millions of naira. Correspondent Emengini Osadebe will cover the visit reports.
When ABS arrived at Akilio's holding center, a mammoth crowd were at hand to welcome the team, led by Major Godfrey Anozie, representing the Territorial Commander, Salvation Army Nigeria Territory, Colonel Victor Leslie. Receiving the team, the Akilio's holding center manager, Elder Anthony Udemba, expressed gratitude and joy at the benevolence of the group, adding that most of the affected persons are widows and less privileged, who do not have places to stay, and advise the beneficiaries to comport themselves and be grateful to the team.
Though we can see that the flood is descending, but not fully. So people are still there. So it's a good gesture. What they did is a very nice one, helping the widows, the widowers, the less privileged, the elderly people, and so on. So it's a welcome.
The team later moved to St. James Holding Center, Iyowo-Depe, and also met a huge crowd. Speaking to ABS in an interview, Major God's Power Anozie, who is also the Territorial Emergency Relief Coordinator, said the relief materials were gathered by members of the church to give back to the society, adding that the aim was to cushion the effect of the flood disaster on the people of Obaru, while calling on the affected persons to embrace and have faith in God as Salvation Army cares for them.
It is simply the message of hope. Keep faith, keep hope alive. No condition is permanent. It's quite painful and unfortunate that some people could lose valuable materials, lives were lost, but those who God spared their life, our message to them for the Salvation Army is that God has not forsaken them, God has not abandoned them.
On his part, the PRO Salvation Army Anambra West Division, Elder Joel Onyebuchi and Captain Collins Izuago stated that Salvation Army is known to be a church and charitable organization whose one of the objectives is to help the needy. Dido, who maintained that their visit was to ameliorate the plight of the flood-affected persons, sympathized with the people and advised them not to see their situation as the end of their lives, even as they charged them to give their lives to Christ.
We believe in two hands, flying with two hands, which is one is special aspect of it, which is helping the needy. We normally put it this way: where there is need, there is the Salvation Army. After we preach our gospel for the saving of the souls, also another aspect we are reaching people, we are touching people's lives, is to do this kind of thing we are doing today.
One of the beneficiaries, Mrs. Charity Aniche, expressed joy at the gift items and prayed for God's blessings and more anointing on them, while pledging to make judicious use of the food items. Emengeno Sadebe, ABS News.
About 116 illegal Nigerian migrants trapped in Libya have returned to the country through the assistance of the International Organization for Migrants. They were brought back aboard an Al Burak airline with flight number UZ489, which arrived the Murtala Mohammed International Airport cargo wing at about 12:40 a.m. on Wednesday. The repatriated Nigerians comprised 53 females and 63 males, among them 46 adult females, 2 female children and 5 female infants. There were also 56 male adults, 6 male children and 8 male infants. Some of them had been held for months at various detention centers for the breach of immigration laws of the North African country. While receiving the returnees who had failed in the quest to proceed to Europe en route Libya, the acting coordinator National Emergency Management Agency NEMA Southwest Zone, Mr. Chegun Afolayan, acknowledged that migration is a fundamental right of every human being, but however noted that when a man or woman embarks on an irregular journey that breaches the laws of other countries, then such a country has the right to apply sanctions on the culprit who is considered as an illegal migrant. Afolayan said to mitigate the frustrations of Nigerians who have genuine or legitimate reasons to migrate to other countries but don't know how to go about it, the IOM, in partnership with the federal government, had opened a migrant resource center for Nigerians to facilitate their movements legally abroad. The centers are located at the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment offices at Benin, Lagos, and Abuja. The National Insurance Commission, NICOM, has said it will in January 2019 release a new insurance distribution channel guidelines known as the State Insurance Producers. The Commission said this is in furtherance of its policy to diversify insurance distribution in Nigeria. Disclosing this at the 2018 education seminar organized by the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIN, in Abuja, in Ibadan, Oyo State, the Commissioner for Insurance, Mohammed Kari, said the SIP would serve as an alternative channel for insurance distribution. He said additional insurance services and products will be considered in the future depending on the success of the initial approach. He also said it will help in excising on defaulters the powers to penalize them according to the laws of the states, maintaining proper records of individuals and organizations bound by the requirements of the compulsory classes of insurance and monitoring the compliance. He said the SIP shall only transact insurance business with approved insurers, noting that only insurance companies with branch office in the respective states will be eligible to transact business with the SIPs. Kyrie said to complement the SIP policy, the Commission would open 20 new branch offices in states across the country for strict management of the policy and the enhancement of insurance penetration. He said the Commission believes this would go a long way in meeting government expectations with regards to the economic recovery and growth plan in the areas of job creation, poverty prevention, and confidence in the face of risk. On entertainment this morning, the screening committee for this year's edition of Best of Nollywood Born Awards has released the list of nominees. A statement from the organization says the exercise marks the end of 4 months of intense activities, which started with call for entries. According to the statement, 112 films, including 93 feature films, 8 short films, and 1 documentary series were screened. 10 others were disqualified for various reasons relating to not meeting entry requirement. The organization observed that practitioners are doing all possible to raise the bar of production, even though a lot of entries still leave much to be desired, noting that Nigerian filmmakers were doing their best to attain international standards and should be encouraged. They noted increase in the number of films made in other Nigerian languages this year and commended the efforts of the producers. From the foreign scene, we'll bring you that German Chancellor Angela Merkel has echoed French President Macron's cries for a European army at the Future of Europe address. Mrs. Merkel told members of the parliament that they should work on a vision of one day establishing a real European army. Macron's call for such an army were heavily criticized by U.S. President Donald Trump, who called it very insulting while continuing his path with the French leader. In her address, Merkel also called on member states to uphold treaty responsibilities, adding that if they fail to do so, the currency will be at risk. The theme of the solidarity weaved through her statements and called for there to be a common European asylum policy. Many across Europe believe her absence from the European stage will herald a new phase in European politics where socialist conservative alliances shift and populist politicians rise to power in the bloc. Following the average performance of the country's representatives at this year's Amputee Football World Cup, Nigeria is now ranked 19th in the world. Before the tournament in Mexico, Nigeria was not ranked, having not participated in the championship previously. Angola, which won the World Cup, is ranked number 1 in the world, while another African country, Kenya, was placed 12th in the global ranking. President of the Amputee Football Federation in the country, Mr. Issa Suleiman, said that the latest ranking of the country will boost the acceptability to 6 to Brazil in the first preliminary stage match, while the country also lost 0-3 to Russia before beating El Salvador 1-0 and drew 1-1 with Colombia. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. You can follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABSRadioTelevision, or you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And that is the news for this morning. I am David Obukwasele, thanking you for joining us this morning. Good morning, Anambra continues after now.